do something.
That does
So
help.
hopefully that will help.
Okay, so I made myself some notes this morning, so that's what I'm trying to pull up now. All right, so what book are we marketing this week, and who is our target audience? So let's see if it can handle.
Is there one that works really well for summer? Because people are really looking for summer reads right now.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, my Out of Water book might be better for that than this. Maybe I should hold off on this for another week. Okay, so let's see. Out of Water by Ruth Madison. A short summer beach read about to old flame. Ideal reader. Let's see if I can pull up just the book description from Amazon to help me with what is this book about. Okay.
I have 2 ChatGPT accounts because, again, emails.
You have to figure out which one you're supposed to be logged into and how to log
No,
in.
I know which one. Well, I signed it into the wrong one, and now it just keeps auto signing me into it, which is really annoying.
So, oh, right, I wanted to tell it. I want to focus on TikTok. All right, let's see if that gives it enough to work with. Again, it is praising me highly. Sounds like a heartfelt, emotionally rich story.
I like that, Out of Water. That definitely speaks to summer.
It does. And let me see if I can show you the cover of it too, because I redid the cover a few months ago and I'm very pleased with it. Let's see if I can share that other screen. Isn't that cute?
Oh, that is sweet.
It's about a former surfer, so very, very beachy for sure.
Oh, it is very beachy.
And it's a short one, but it leads into, there's a lot of other stories with this same character. This is the one I was telling you before, is my most popular character that I've ever written, for good reason, because I first created him when I was 18 and I just poured out my heart of like, who is the most perfect, wonderful man that I want to meet. And so everybody loves Stuart. Okay, back to this. So now I have to choose my strategy. What do I want to do? I do tend to like to go across and do hit all the different things. Oh, look, it gave me a suggestion. Given your TikTok focus, you might like the first option, media column across all levels. All right, I'll take it. I'm having trouble deciding. Sure, let's do the first one with the media. 1 square for each level of reach, from 100 views to 1 million views. Okay, I kind of already have a video like this, but with a better hook. But maybe I can make a new one. Do a dramatic reading. Record a short TikTok reading a key emotional line from the book. I could do that. Maybe more than one line, but yeah. Join or start a TikTok trend. For example, use the book boyfriend or books that wrecked me trend and feature Stuart. He is a wonderful book boyfriend. Highly recommend to all of you watching that he is a wonderful book boyfriend that will stay with you for years. Collaborate with a mid-tier book talk creator. Offer them a free copy of Out of Water. Ask if they'd like to duet or stitch a video where you react to their thoughts about Stuart or your themes. Oh, I guess I can try reaching out. I don't know if it will work, but that still counts if I just try. And then
Well, you found that one site, so
that is
and you might
true.
have something that they would be interested in.
Yeah, I
Summer
gotta check
read
back on that.
with a, like
Yeah.
niche kind of character. I don't know. I think it's worth trying.
Can we change out level 5 for something free? I have been spending ad money for the last few weeks, so.
I just.
Okay. Cliffhangers, yeah. It would help if the chat had read the book, because, well, I can't even really call it a book. It's only 35 pages, but sometimes people like quick reads.
So it's like a novella?
Yeah, I don't know what you'd call 35 pages, but basically, I have it in here with the, like, quick read, reformed bad boy, second chance, wounded hero. I don't know, I've got one of those, like, long subtitles that's just keywords, but I'm not sure that those are a good idea anymore. I feel like that used to be, like, the thing to do, and now it just looks funny. Those keywords can go other places. Okay, so I'll probably fiddle with this to make it fit the story more, because I think it anticipates his former flame being more of a normal human, but she is pretty different. She's very harsh and intense and pushes him in unexpected ways. So I don't see her as the she never stopped waiting. But I
I
think,
can see the problem there.
yeah, but I can easily modify that myself. So I think this looks good.
Because for me, my focus really needs to be on the quantumized career. I'm, it's like the most important thing.
Yeah, that's coming up fast. Okay.
Yeah, that is hitting me in the face. And I just finished going through the manuscript and getting it to a place where it's perfect for ARC, for advanced reader copies now. And it took me forever. And I still have a couple questions for my co-author, because we had these graphs and I'm like, I don't see a place for this. We had to redo the graphics for it and grumble on the production side. I realized I actually need to do this in InDesign. I love Vellum. Vellum is wonderful for almost everything, but we have these worksheets that are just a little too complicated, so we did them as images, and we're having trouble making them size right and show up. And I'm like, I could spend another 1,000 years on this, or I could just
if you know how to use InDesign, then yeah, that's the thing to do. I mean, it's kind of like how I do most stuff in Canva, but every once in a while I really need the Photoshop.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to, I mean, I started designing for a work, and I was using PageMaker, which is what turned into InDesign. So I have a knowledge of it, but InDesign has gone way beyond my
Yeah, it's
capabilities at this
probably
point.
been improving and changing over the years. I mean,
The
I
book
used
is
it once 20
designed.
years ago, but
Yeah, but the book is designed. I mean, I understand flow, and I know that you can nudge and put things much more nicely, and
mm,
so that desire has been growing in me, even though I have no time for it. So I decided, this is going to work for the ebook, um, and I'm going to give myself the time while we're marketing and selling this book to get a really nice version of the interior of the print book. And it will take time, but it is worth it, is what I decided.
yeah, I think so.
So I'm really excited about it. So what I decided, I just clicked on marketing goals because I have a really small marketing goal, but it's also tough. I want to get advanced review team members for this book. We have an application form, and I want to get 10 applications for the review team on my application form. That's a very modest number.
It
And I'm
is.
like, is that enough? But it's good enough
Well,
if
you know
I
what?
can
If
do
you
that.
get, if you aim for 10, you can always overshoot
Yeah, I don't mind if I get 15, but
it.
yeah, but if I only have 5, then I want to do a little bit more,
Yeah.
amplify things and see if I can get those 10. Okay, so, and then I'm going to go vertical, which is kind of scary because it means I have to do a big number. And I'm going to do media because, and I also told it I'm going to be looking at LinkedIn. And can you see it?
It's so hard to
Is
read.
it too
Like, if
hard
I
to
get
read?
this close, I can. I wish I had a way to, like, blow it up for people. There should be a way to do that, but oh, or you
If
can.
I do
Yes, that
that, does it
helps.
help?
That helps. Thank you. I'll have to remember to do
Okay.
that on mine too.
It looks ridiculous on the screen, but okay.
It's
Okay, so
perfect over here.
I'm gonna focus on LinkedIn and Blue Sky because I'm also trying to like be present on Blue Sky more. Okay, so a personal post, a short story-driven post on LinkedIn about why I wrote the book and the kind of reader that I want for the early review team. So this is nice because you know what? Isn't that like so simple and plain and obvious? But I
And
never
yet, and
considered doing
especially
something.
with nonfiction, we don't usually consider looking at giving the
Like,
inspiration
isn't it
behind it.
obvious? Can't you tell?
Oh, it's like I had a podcast interview with somebody who was showing me about like how to get cold audiences to buy faster, and like when he would demonstrate it, I was like, "Oh, yeah. Like of course." Like once you say it, it's like, "Oh, yeah, duh." But before you
But
say
does
it,
it ever occur
you
to
don't.
you?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm still working on carousels, so we'll see how that goes. But and I don't know what a blue sky thread. Oh, I know what a thread is. It's when you do a couple different things.
Yeah, like they
I've
reply
been
to each
thinking about
other.
doing that because those attract my attention. So I think I'll
Mm.
do like a blue sky thread on the 5 surprising mindset shifts quantum thinkers use to navigate career change, which I will change
Mm.
that a little bit, but I like the idea because if you make our book takes you through making these mind shifts. And if you make these mind shifts, you look at everything completely differently.
Mm.
And this, I think, would be really good for me to get the information out. So I'm excited about that. No idea what a native video is. Oh,
That's like
duh.
where you record it in the
Yes.
platform and not
And you
like.
sit there and talk. Okay. Um, I don't have to wear Native American headdress
Please
or
don't. Oh God, you'll get the wrong kind of
do not
attention.
know do not know what Native Irish ancestral folk wore, but I'm not
I
even going
guess it's
to
probably not the costumes
do
my
it.
daughter wears for Irish step dancing.
I don't know. Could
I think they've
be.
gotten pretty over the
Those
top,
are
but
beautiful. I love Irish step dancing.
we
Remember
just
when
went to
that
a
was a trend?
performance. She's been doing it like
Amazing.
2 days a week for the whole year, and she's only 6, but like they had a recital and they had the older kids performing too, and amazing.
Okay, I'm imagining the 6-year-olds performing.
They're so
It must have
cute.
been so
Oh, I
adorable.
have some pictures and videos. She's so sincere and so terrible, and it's just adorable.
I mean, because that's like, I'm sure that all the enthusiasm and energy was there. It's just that precision.
Yeah, and remembering which direction to go and what steps. She didn't bump into anybody. She's improved a lot. I mean, doing 2 days a week for a whole year, like she's come a long way, but she's still 6.
I'm sure if I got up there next to her, she would outperform me like crazy. And people would be like, okay, get off the stage. Get off the stage, Granny. Okay. All right. So I like this idea. Actually makes perfect sense. I'm going to do it. And I like that it reminds me to use subtitles and a clear call to action,
Very
which
important.
I tend to leave off. So I will ask it what strategic hashtags, but I'm not going to ask that yet. Okay. All right. So it wants me to boost my best performing post or video on LinkedIn. I might consider that this week.
But is
'Cause I
that
think
going to
I'm going to
be a
do,
post on LinkedIn that has to do with this book? Do you have one where you can actually see whether it's performing well?
um, I'm going to consider it performing well if I get a couple of hand
Yeah.
claps.
Well, see, they
I
also
am
have you can
actually,
ask a peer with 10K plus followers to share it. That's another idea.
well,
That's
so I
free.
actually have a group I'm in that is actually exploring, looking at helping each other
Mm,
um, get out of the, like nobody's looking at my post thing.
okay.
So I might actually, instead of paying to boost it, I might actually just do an influencer share that way, a freebie.
Yeah,
Um, because there are people with, yeah, I mean, I don't know how anybody gets 10,000 followers,
I know.
but, you know what?
Ooh.
Again, it pushes you out of your freaking comfort zone.
And look at that. Pitch a piece to entrepreneur or fast company. Like, woo! Those are big.
Okay, so I want to pitch Wired, so that is what I will do this
Ooh,
week.
very nice. Yes.
I have loved Wired magazine for ages, um, and I knew that I wanted to pitch it, and I haven't done it. So I will pitch
Perfect.
Wired, and all of this requires me. I'm going to say it requires me to um, have the arc all ready to deliver, which it's really close, but I need one more review. I'm going to review it in ebook form to make sure it looks okay. And I have to have the book up on the retailers, which is, but I have all the metadata. I've used ChatGPT to give me, good description and all this other stuff. And speaking of good description, like what you're saying, I could change my book descriptions to be better and clearer about what the story is about,
It's like what
which
you were
I
saying
haven't.
last week about like you're so close to the story, you know it so well, so you don't really know when you're trying to condense it into two
Oh, I've had
paragraphs,
other
you know?
people. No, I've had other people write my description for me, and
Oh.
over the years, who
Hmm.
professionally do that, and it changes, right? That's the thing. Like if you've had your book up for a while, you actually really need to refresh that metadata. It's
Hmm.
not forever metadata,
Yeah.
and it's every time you do, it's like you put yourself on the rack again. It's ridiculous,
Hmm.
but it helps with that. Good old Chad. And
It
he's like, you're
does.
like, no, I could never say that about my book because Chad is very, very, this is the best book ever. This is better than sliced bread.
Yes.
This book will make you fall in love and want to change the world. I don't know. But anyway, that is something that it's like, I know. That's like the cobbler and his
Yeah.
kids, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
I struggle with that too.
So, this is what I'm finding when I get these suggestions. Everything requires me to like up my game just a little bit everywhere,
Mm.
you know? And so it's taking more than 2 hours sometimes. This would only take me 2 hours to do what this just says. And so I'm happy, this is good. But in order to make this work like I want it to work, I'm going to have to spend probably 8 to 10 hours doing other things that support this effort.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because those are great. Like with your thingamajigger, which I want to talk about more, but first I want to actually get a game plan. And we're getting up to 10 o'clock. So I don't know if you stop automatically or not. So,
I don't think so. I think we can stream really as long as we want to. I don't know what happened last time, because that was not right at the hour. That was like an hour and 11 minutes, and then it shut down. And I think it had to do with my internet connection. But anyway, I'm good to keep going for a little bit. Okay. I don't know about you.
Okay, good. All right. So we have the bingo card planned for the Quantumized Career, and
it looks good.
Know what I need to do to support that. So I feel really good.
So let's see what happens if I just start typing instead of starting with the question. This week I want to promote a new lead magnet for my fiction upcoming romance novel. To break is the first 2 chapters. It's coming out late August. It is here is the description.
Oh, you are sharing your screen, never mind.
Okay, good. Whew.
I'm like, okay, I just
all right,
I'm still getting used to Twitch.
Grab the how long is it going to take us to be getting used to Twitch? My goodness. Grab the description, just because that will be easier than trying to explain what it is.
And we talked about maybe setting a goal here where we could, like, when we're actually sharing.
Yeah, like how many downloads do I want to get? How many people are on my list? Didn't I look at that recently? And completely forgot. Okay, let me go look.
Oh, it's good. So it's not going to let you forget anything. It's thinking about all of this.
Isn't that amazing?
Who's your target reader? Where do readers hang out online?
Ooh, I have 2 new signups for my Ruth newsletter, June 7th and June 8th.
Okay.
So let's see.
So sometimes solving problems you didn't even know you had can be profitable.
Who knew? This is why we check our funnels. Okay, so I have 215 on my list. So let's see. Target reader is women who like crunching emotional romance that still has a happy ending. TikTok, YouTube, Reddit. Let's see if I put Goodreads in there, if it comes up with any ideas. My email list is 215 people right now. Do you have any existing media assets or collaborators? What is your marketing goal for the lead magnet? Well, one would think, but I guess, okay, these are all fair goals for a lead magnet, but quarterly email list. And then, do I want to go wide or go deep? I always go wide. And it even has a suggestion to do the 1,000 views across. So I will say go wide. Let's see. Oh, I forgot. Let me go back. That's better. We'll create a which romance trope is this teaser poll? Guess the trope challenge. Huh. Okay. Post-game, the main character's carousel. Okay. Ooh, printable bingo card layout. It hasn't offered me that before.
Yeah, it's going to offer you something kind of weird. I think I played around with that this week.
See, Kelly created this, so she surprises me with new things. I'm actually not sure if I want all of these. I might do some more tweaking too.
Yeah.
What would a which romance trope is this teaser poll actually look like?
I'm always interested in those teaser polls. I think readers kind of like them. Have you tried many of those with your readers?
No. What exactly makes it a teaser poll? Is that a particular thing?
So I guess you're giving them a little bit of a flavor of your book, right? But you're getting them to actually think about it, right? So like what would be a good teaser poll for this summer read book that you have, that you're featured last week? Like it would be something simple like maybe, what do you like in your beach read? A little bit of sand, so that it's kind of gritty.
Okay.
I don't know, but you would choose things that your book is, right?
Yeah. All right, let's see if it can help me understand what a which romance trope is this would look like. A short emotional snippet from the lead magnet, paired with subtle background music. Okay. The question is,
like that. That would be interesting to
which
try.
trope is this? Huh.
Second chances, neurodiverse love. Oh, it's going to be all of them, right?
Well, it's not second chance because they haven't met before. It's not neurodiverse.
But he's having a second chance.
But he's having a second chance at life.
Well, but also at romance. I mean, that's one of the things.
Does that
when
count?
you're dealing with a health crisis, you forget that part of your life. You're like, that's over, right? Nobody's going to want to go through the problems I'm going through.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay.
It is a little different than what you normally think of for second chance.
Yeah. So I might tweak these to make one of them the actual clear answer, but is this a trope, caregiver romance? I mean, I guess it's kind of part of the hurt, comfort, sort of nursing back to health kind of area, but okay.
Yeah, I actually would say caregiver romance. I mean, I listen to a lot of audiobooks through my library, and what was there was a JoJo
Moyes,
I can't remember.
the Me Before You.
Yes, yes, yes. She might have started that trope or like blasted it off the planet.
I will attempt not to get on my soapbox and complain about that book.
Well, you don't have to, but it is a bestseller, and it was edited by a traditional publisher, and they're always way more cautious. Like when you're independent, you can give the readers what they really want without, like dumbing it down, essentially.
Yeah. Do you think that authors like myself who write disabled characters get a little extra boost from people's like subconscious ableism? Because I notice a lot of reviews for books that have disabled characters. It's like it almost is like it doesn't matter whether the book is well written because the reviews are like, "Oh my goodness, you actually touched on this and like this heartwarming, inspirational, like you actually have characters that." And it's like, okay, but is the story good? Is the writing good? It's like they're just so impressed with you for just having a disabled character. You think that happens?
I don't know, because they're probably not saying, this story is crappy, but at least it has this, right? I think they just appreciate. I mean, it's what
Yeah.
you call out, right? Like when someone cuts their hair, you're like, oh, you got your hair cut when you see them. It's just a natural reaction.
Mm.
The first thing you notice, the big thing, is what you point out,
Yeah, so
right?
it's not necessarily
So,
bad, but
and also, you're calling it out as a reviewer or a person, you're calling it out in encouragement.
hmm
Hey guys, this is here. Or if you're just talking to the author, hey, thank you for doing this, do some more.
yeah, I guess that is true. Yeah.
So I don't know that it's ableism as much as a
Sometimes
recognition
it
that if you love
just,
these stories and you don't see very many of them,
yeah,
ableism, I think, shows its face when people are unhappy that the character does not get completely fixed,
okay,
or
yeah,
when they're like, some traditional publishers are with books like this, where they don't want to show all the reality of it.
yeah. Which is again kind of strange for the Me Before You because that ending, I mean, that's not a romance. And
Oh,
I
for
mean, it's
sure, for
been out
sure.
long enough. I don't think I'm spoiling anything to say that that's a really, really negative, out of nowhere kind of ending. So kind of
I give
surprising.
all books their potential. It's like, and I will say that she has literary pretensions, and or aspirations, maybe I should say. Um, so people with literary aspirations really, really do not like to leave the book on a positive note. They like to leave it. I mean, the positive. It's like if you ever read an Oprah book, it's like terrible, 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 terrible. Surviving. Some heartwarming stuff, or you wouldn't keep reading it. And then at the end, it's like tiny, tiny glimmer of hope for the future, and that's supposedly because literary people, rationality and logic doesn't trust that good things are going to happen.
That
So,
is such a good point. Yeah, having gone
so
through like,
I mean, I do feel that's pressure, but as indie authors,
yeah,
you don't have that pressure.
that is so true. Yeah, if you want it to be literary and meaningful and like true to life, then it's got to be negative. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise the reviewers, because I mean, a lot of times, and I don't know that authors do this as much. After a while, they probably do, but to be eligible for prizes, you know,
Mm,
you've got to go through a gauntlet of skeptics.
yeah.
I mean, really, the reviewers who review literary fiction are not going to say, I loved it. It was great, right?
Yeah.
They're looking for the flaws. They're looking for, I mean, that's part of where they build their reputation. And so, and they're also looking for something that's going to last forever.
Yeah,
It
the
has deep,
classic, the
deep
great
meaning. And it's,
American novel that we all started out. I mean, I can't say you all, but I definitely started out in that mindset of like I have to write like something that's a classic that lasts forever, that speaks to the meaning of life. And I went through writing school, you know, and it was like, oh, genre.
Well,
They
exactly,
really do.
exactly. Happily ever after. That doesn't happen very often. It's like, well, we all do die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I used to really like those literary, heavy, dark books. You know, I read Crime and Punishment when I was 13 because I found it on my dad's bookshelf. I read Catch 22 at the same time. I read Great Expectations. Like, I was, first of all, a very pretentious child, but also, like, very much in that mindset. And I feel like now that I'm middle aged, I want the escapism. Real life is harsh, you know? I've been through it. Like now my reading, I don't want to read about how like life sucks. I want to have the fantasy and the enjoyment and escape from this brutal world for a few minutes.
I like to think I like pretty much all kinds of stories except, stories that are just so miserable, right? The characters are so miserable. And they don't add a value in the world. It's like, I don't want to spend too much time with people like that. But what I see, like, I hate that people dismiss things as being escapism or a light read, because even a light read might be what you're looking for to kind of lighten your own personal burden.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in our lives, we have lots of moments that are entertaining and fun and wonderful and still uplifting. I mean, my grandkids provide me with things like that all the time. The dog got out yesterday, and so we had a near tragedy. We had a celebration when we rescued the dog. It's like, there was no, I mean, obviously it could have gone another way, but there was no heavy, deep, but it was still very much life, very much something, that I'm thinking, how do I put this in a book?
Yeah. I had a moment the other day and I can't remember exactly what it was, but the feeling of like, this sounds like it was in a sitcom. This doesn't sound like life, and yet it really happened. I think with this book, I'm going to be trying to balance a little bit of both. I have a good friend who writes in the same genre as me, and she writes such fun, like rom-com kind of stuff. Her first books have a very kind of shopaholic feel to them. I love it. I can't get enough of it. But I simply do not write that way. I don't
Right.
have
And
that
that's,
much levity in me. So I'm writing these like angsty romances, but I want to, like, I'm bringing in some of the other characters from the nursing home to do like a found family and have funny little spats and drama between them, while also having moments of talking about what it's like to be coming to the end of your life and letting go of what you had and the independence that you had. And so it's like putting all of those things in there too.
yeah, I mean, there's a richness to it. It's like sometimes you tapped into it. People sometimes imply that if it's light or entertaining, that it's not rich. And I
Yeah.
do think that readers are looking for a rich reading experience, however the author delivers it. But I think you can be light and rich at the same time. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes people feel like, no, it has to be heavy and rich.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. So fascinating.
So do you have your
Let me just
goals?
think if there's. Okay. So I got clarity on that. Quiet Love mini reading and chat on live. Yeah, I think I could do that. I'm not sure what they mean by quiet love.
I like the way we can just ask
It's
questions,
just
right? And get a
amazing. It took me
definition.
a while to realize the full kind of scope of what Chad here can do. And it's just like, oh, okay, I could ponder this for a long time, or I could ask
Oh,
my
good.
friend here.
It gave you some examples. Jojo Moy right there at the very
Sure
beginning.
did.
Okay, so
Type of
I think what you're saying is
understate.
people maybe aren't necessarily pursuing it. It just gently develops, which I think your book is probably too short for gently develops.
I don't know. I'm hoping to make this one really long, like deep.
Oh, in that case, that's something to consider.
Yeah, I
People
would like it
sometimes
to be a
really like that, right?
slow burn. And it's something that I want to prove to myself, which is dumb, but I write, I'm an underwriter, but not an underwriter. So most people, it's like, oh, you wrote way too much. You have 150,000 words. You got to cut it back. And I'm just like, where's the advice for people like me where I'm like, well, I got to 35,000 words and I said the entire story and now I'm stuck.
So I
But
will tell you, I had
yeah.
a client come to me with a short story, and it is now a novel. It is a short novel, but it's a lot longer. Like at some point, I said, to her, this would work better probably as a 60,000 word novel. And she's like, oh, I can't do that. Well, guess what? She has exceeded that. So it works in the layering in and the building the scenes out. So, um,
Yeah, that's what I feel like for this book was I've got all these side characters. I've got this other subplots going on. Like there's a lot of places where it's going to naturally be longer than what I've usually done.
so what I always do, because I also am, and I can underwrite and overwrite depending on what I'm
Okay.
doing. Um, so what I this the technique that I developed to try and help myself write when I had a lot of other demands in my day was to basically beat the scene out. So and for a long time I did not actually realize what a scene was, right? I consumed books, the whole of the book. And so for a very long time I wrote short stories because I did not understand how to um, keep the entire book in my head and write it all at once, right? So I would think about a short story. I was in a critique group and I would think about a short story for about a month. And then the night before the critique group met, I would write the short story, print it out, and bring it because it was great. We all printed out 3 copies, passed the copies around in the morning, read, had our potluck in the afternoon, and then into the evening critiqued. It was the best critique group I was ever in. People were really smart, really knew what they were talking about, and it was just great. So we did that, and and they would say to me sometimes, they would say to me often, "This is a great story, but it should be a novel." And then finally I was like, okay, I'm going to try and write a novel. But everyone always complained about my endings. I'm going to write a romance novel because can't mess up the ending. They're going to be together, right? That was my actual decision
Oh
making
my God, I
process.
love it.
So, and then I started writing and it was really stressful. How do and so I worked my way into writing scenes without realizing I was doing it. And I had at the time, you know, you want 20-page chapters, right?
Yeah, you try to be
So
very
I would try and write
exact.
exactly 20-page chapters. So if the chapter wasn't 20 pages, I'd add some. If it was 20 pages, I'd be like, okay, I'll start the next chapter. And now I write in scenes, and Scrivener is the tool that gives me
Scrivener's
that.
amazing.
Scrivener is like playing a game with your writing self, because you
Yeah.
can make little notes to yourself. You can use a note card to keep yourself on track, have your like focal point. You can put an image in there and just remind yourself, this is what the scene is supposed to feel like or look like or whatever. And then you just stick to the scene, because I'm like side, side, side. And then by the time I'm really far away from the book, I have to come back. So to me, it's like if you really are trying to add, you look at the scene just in terms of it being a scene, and you say, how can I make the reader really experience this scene? And
Yeah.
that works really well. Um, because you're not getting distracted with things that are happening other places. Although sometimes you're like, oh, that's right. This is an echo of what happened in that other thing, but the way they handle it is different, right? So you put in like one line that says, oh, well, you probably don't be this obvious. Oh, look at me. I handled that differently. I get a gold star on my forehead. So that is my recommendation for writers who prefer to underwrite and not put in too much stuff. I still manage to put in too much stuff, even though I do it that way. All right.
All right,
So how are you
last
feeling
thing.
about your
I'm just
card?
gonna ask it one more thing. Oh, okay. Arm over the door trend.
What is that? Oh my God. You know, when I did my research for the thread I abandoned last week, there is the coolest historical romance trend of like falling into the past. And so somebody
Oh,
falls
yes.
and then whatever they're or they'll walk through a wall or go through a door and then they'll be in costume on the other side in their setting.
Oh my
It is really cool. I don't know how to do it, but I want to figure it
Oh, are you
out.
gonna get all dressed up?
Not me.
You're gonna
I'm
need
going to turn
a
this over to my
AI.
son and his
Ah.
costume loving wife.
Oh, perfect. I was gonna send you some videos from Carolina, who she does these really fun skits of like if Jane Austen were in modern day, and she'll be all dressed up in complete accurate historical costume. So I gotta send some of those to you because like that's such a good.
I did see, I really saw this because I didn't know what it was. So I asked Chat, what is this? And I did some more exploration. I'm like, who's doing this? And it's actually just a hashtag. So you can go and see all the different
Oh
ways people are doing it.
yeah.
And one person was really funny because there's one that's pretty simple, like where they just fall onto their bed with the book. Well, so this one girl, um, in her TikTok was titled like, "Why isn't this working for me?" So she's falling, and she just falls, and the
Mm.
book just falls on her face, and then she's like trying to like stick her head in the book, hitting herself with the book, and she falls a couple different times, and the idea is she can't do it. So I thought,
Oh, that's so cute. She's like, come on, let me in.
it's like a twist on the trend that was really funny.
Oh my gosh, that is great. All right, I have to figure out what the heck this is. So let's see. Book talk. He leaned against the doorframe. Oh, okay. So this is like taking those like cliche lines that you find in romance novels and trying to see what it would look like in real life, because often it's like, he growled and you're just like, "What? What exactly does that mean?" I wonder how I could modify this for my characters.
They're having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. Yeah. As in most romance books, the man is supposed to be like 75 feet tall. Let's
Yeah, they're doing
see.
too many. I mean, I like that, but they're doing too many at one time.
Yeah, see, I got bored and walked away, so that is a sign not to do that. Door
Yeah.
lean right now, you won't regret it. So this is like actually doing it with your husband, but I have to think about how I
Oh, so
could
he's trying.
modify this
Oh, so it must be a cliche
from
thing
romance
that guys
novels.
do
Yeah, I think in romance
in
novels they get,
books.
yeah, exactly. And so they're like, what would this look like in actual real life?
I want to market my Evertwix serialization on Ream platform. I want to do something challenging, so this is why I chose this.
I love that you're telling it that you want to find a new audience and suggesting things like Blue Sky that's so new. That's really cool.
Well, I'm starting to use that. Um,
Yeah, I might
so
I might ask it to do Threads because I just discovered that Threads is just popping with authors.
Yeah, Threads is really I mean, Twitter is so angry and
Oh,
ugly anymore.
I mean, I've hated Twitter for years. I've found it to be a dumpster fire since before Elon bought it.
I used to love Twitter. I would avoid the dumpster fires, though. I agree.
When it
Um,
first came out, it was so cool because you could really connect with anybody. You could be like, hey, big name author that doesn't know who I am, like I can tweet directly at you. That was such a brand new concept.
well, I liked it for getting real-time information
Mm,
that you wouldn't, normally get, and meeting people that I liked who were, writing big articles and doing deep research. And,
mm,
I got a lot of industry information from Twitter back in the day, but it's all garbaged out now.
yeah.
Okay. Um, okay. Okay. So that was good because it made me actually think about what goal I wanted. And so my Ream community, I like to post AI pictures of my world in there, but I'm not getting any feedback on it. So I want followers who can follow for free, and I want um, them to post or reply to my things in the community. So hopefully, I got to figure out, I guess, yeah, do I want one column for all reach? I think I'm going to focus on media. Let's see what it says if I focus on media. Or do I want reader focused?
I would say reader focused if you're trying to get followers that are readers, right?
Me too. Oh, I did it wrong, didn't I? Because it's a column that's reader focused.
Let's see if it figured it out. No, it did not figure it out. You might have to redo.
I I get column and row confused. It's an unfortunate thing.
It's funny. I think you tend to like the columns. You like to like dive deep into one strategy, and I like the rows. I like to try one of each every time.
I'm actually liking what it's giving me though. Um, so I think I might do this. Okay.
Storm swept fairy tale fantasy.
Yeah, and it's like in a Facebook group where readers already hang out. Okay. So, all right. Okay. And this I like. Okay, so I like all the suggestions, but for the ads one, I need um and hey, write down what you're looking for while I'm doing this so I can just post it in because it's going to ask for your stuff. Um, and just put it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so I want to know. I wonder if it will give me the top 20 Facebook groups. I wonder if it's possible for it to do that. Well, serial fiction for authors sounds possible, but it's author share and discuss serialized fiction. So I don't
Oh.
know if it's for readers. I should have maybe asked for reader focusing ones. Okay, finding fantasy, promoting great stories, That sounds good. Um, I can't do, um, I don't like doing Facebook on my computer. I like to just do it on my iPad or my phone in the app. So I'm going to just look for that. So it's called Finding Fantasy, promoting. Hmm, never heard of it. It's only got 52 followers. No, that's not it. Um, oh, fantasy reads. No wonder I didn't find it. Oh, and there's a fantasy book writers and readers united.
To remember what all the things are that it asks. Da, 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 da.
Oh, I think I'm asking for a group. And I probably just want a page, maybe. No, okay. All right, so it says it's there, and I'm not really finding it. But I did find one. Oh, there's a Fantasy Beta Readers Guild.
Hmm.
That's very interesting. Hmm. Oh, all right. I'm not gonna be boring. I will do my research. I don't know if these are actually going to. Okay, because that way I'll be able to test it pretty quick. Oh, look at it without my even asking. It asks tips for engaging with these groups. Okay. So it did give me the links. Whether they work or not is totally. Oh, Fantasy Faction. That's very interesting.